How goes the family? How goes it? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes, late night live on Instagram. Gotta love Instagram because of the filters and because it makes it so much easier to just go live and whatnot without having to set up all your equipment. All right, so I've been noticing a lot of videos going around talking about how, why people are giving up on the American dream, why they think the American dream is dead. And I don't think the American dream is dead. I think the American dream has been recalibrated. Everything has to evolve. So it's saying that I learned from Tupac Shakur. He stated that you evolve, we grow, we all grow. Either you evolve or you disappear. That's just the way it goes. And a lot of people don't want to evolve, or they can't evolve because they don't put in the specific actions that allow a person to evolve in this life and whatnot. All right. Now, with that being said, I think the American dream is dead, and for the people that given up on it, it's dead for the people that don't want to put in not only the extra work, but to be more strategic and whatnot. It's dead for the people that don't want to partner up with other people. It's dead for people that think that they can still do the Lone Ranger thing in regards to the way that the Gen Xers and the baby boomers could do, the way they were able to do it, because inflation wasn't as crazy. One, people were getting paid more. Two, three, you had more pension plans back in those days. And in today's world, from the millennial generation on down, it's not pensions are just a thing of the past. You have a 401k plan, you have individual retirement accounts, as they're known as IRAs and things of that nature. So just working a job is not going to cut it, regardless of any state that you live in. Even those Californians and New Yorkers that have moved to Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, moved to Texas and whatnot, moved to Nevada, moved to Arizona and whatnot, they're still going to need to have backup plans in regards to, even though that they may have come to the state with a lot more money because they sold their old homes and they were able, in certain instances, buy houses in cash money. They're still, in order for them to be able to retire in a comfortable manner, they're still going to be able to need to have significant savings and significant amount of investments and whatnot that they can be able to pull money from when they get older. So the American dream to me is dead to those that want to do things the old 1955 and 1960s old-fashioned way of just having a job and all that, because the system in itself is insured to get rid of that. I mean, even in the military, you don't even have a regular pension plan like you used to have with the previous generation. So government jobs, you don't have the regular pension plans. They have their own version of a 401k plan. So, like I said, is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. But I think the American dream is dead, and it's dead for people that want to do things the old-fashioned way. But it's alive and well for people that want to do things in a different capacity, from having the multiple streams of income, from having a multitude of investments, talking about investments in businesses like they do any other social event and things of that nature. That's why I'm glad in the quote unquote African American community and the hip hop community, talking about assets and businesses is becoming the new norm, and I love that. Assets from real estate, owning franchises, other businesses, assets from owning cryptocurrencies, assets from the stock market, and on bonds, the whole nine. I love that. But most people, and not only that, the one thing I can love and respect about the videos I'm seeing about, they said why they've given up on the American dream and whatnot. Oh, hey, what's going on, Kendrick? Hope all is well and whatnot. But another reason why a lot of people have given up on the American dream is because the American dream, to me, it's different for everybody else, for everyone. Like everything. The beautiful thing about the United States of America is that it's a soup of various different flavors, various different peoples and whatnot, various different ideologies, various different people's faiths, non-faith believers, spirituality, the whole nine. But a lot of people give up on these certain things because they give up on the American dream because they still are stuck in time warp. All right. So great example. When I saw this video about this one older gentleman, he was living in Montana, but he grew up in Florida, Gainesville, Florida, and he wasn't happy with his career, wasn't happy where he was living at. Because a lot of people get into a multitude of car debt, home debt, credit card debt, just so that they can keep up with appearances, just so that they can look like they are living this great specific lifestyle. Like the old saying goes on social media, don't let social media fool you in thinking that everybody's living their best life, because half the time they're not. They're just posing for the gram, they're posing for Facebook or whatever, or Snapchat or whatever have you, to make it look like their lives are something that is actually not. All right, but most people are not going to win in the American dream because of because of the bad debt crisis. As of 2019, American consumers have racked up about $14 trillion in debt, $14 trillion as a country and whatnot. American debt, grew by, $219 billion. All right. And then, to put it in all in perspective, the average American family typically carried about $138,000 in debt. Not good debt, but definitely bad debt. That's something to take into consideration. A lot of people don't think about it like that. And then obviously the leading sources of debt usually, falls in the lines of home mortgages, which, it can be a good debt as long as it's not outrageous home mortgage. Car loans. Nowadays, it could be a good debt if you're utilizing your car to help, not only just help you go to work, but a lot of people, loan their cars out and they use it as a side hustle. Student loan debts, credit cards, things of that nature. That's most of the things that contribute to people having a lot of debt. And then obviously people wanted to keep up with appearances. I always say, yeah, you don't need to know how much I make. My car doesn't need to display that. I'll look poor to keep you looking, to keep you guessing on what I'm really doing with my life, because that's how it's supposed to be. You don't need to know everything. That's why they say, though, you don't need to post every single thing on social media. Keep your enemies guessing, because that's no matter, and keep your haters guessing, because regardless of the situation, you're gonna have enemies, you're gonna have haters. That's just the way life goes. All right. And then for a lot of people, there's just never enough money, and then a lot of people are just unwilling to sacrifice, and a lot of people don't ever see any light at the end of the tunnel, so they just say the heck with it and things of that nature. And my advice at the end of the day of this video is, one, the American dream is live and well. It's just in various different fashions. It's not that whole, I'm going to go to get a degree and get a certification and work 40 hours a week and everything's going to be la-di-da. I'm going to get my raises and we're never going to have any crazy incidences. The economy is never going to go bad. That's not a reality. That is a fantasy. That is a fantasy that the school systems and certain job markets preach to you. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with them preaching it to you, because the beautiful thing, it's a free country. So you have an opportunity to freely think outside of the box. Nobody's forcing you to say, hey, I have to do X, Y, Z for the rest of my life. The trajectory and the path is not for that anymore. But a lot of people don't want to think outside of the box. And then another thing, the concept of family, especially the African American community, has to change. Family needs to be working more together and not against each other. All right. If you got the nice Lexus and your brother or cousin doesn't have a nice Lexus, then there needs to be or sister or whatever, there needs to be a discussion on how they can get the nice car as well and how they can come up. Trying to just outshine everybody and stun on everybody and all that other nonsense, that is dead as well. If you're really going to work as a collective, in my personal opinion, then it needs to be really as a collective, so everybody can come up and whatnot. So if your last name is Jackson or whatnot, everybody's going to be like, oh, the Jacksons, in, they doing it big. They buying commercial real estate. They buying into franchises. They're owning assets together. They're preaching financial literacy. That's the power move. That's the power play. Because trust me, the biggest reason why a lot of Americans are losing and immigrants are winning is because they work as a collective. That's one thing I can say. When you have 10 salaries versus 1 to 2 salaries, you can't fight that force between 10 to 2. The numbers just don't lie in that aspect, all right? But on that note, it's getting late, family. Do the great 3 free things. Like, share, and subscribe. Kendrick, I hope you and the family's doing well. All the good stuff. And as I always say, make money moves or you're going to live broke like a fool. And the American dream is live and well. But it's alive and well for those who are willing to play economic chess, and not economic checkers. I've already explained what that is, but to shorten it up, economic checkers is just getting a job, getting a degree, and thinking everything's going to be all right. Economic chess is doing that and adding on to having a business on the side, adding on to making the proper investments, adding on to collaborating with people when it comes to making economic moves and all that good stuff, and implementing it, not just talking about it and things of that nature. So I'll leave it at that. All right. Take care, family, and have a great night.